Welcome to the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe and support me. The clang of metal echoed through the sprawling expanse of Steel City, a testament to human ingenuity and relentless ambition. Towering spires pierced the sky, each one a marvel of engineering, adorned with intricate machinery and conduits pulsating with elemental energy. This was the heart of the human empire, a symbol of dominance forged by the brilliance of its artisans and the formidable power of the heart of steel. Roland stood in his workshop, a sanctuary of creativity nestled within one of Steel City's highest towers. The room was cluttered with blueprints, tools, and half-finished projects, but amidst the chaos stood the centerpiece of his life's work at the heart of steel. This device, a fusion of advanced technology and elemental magic, had the power to control the very forces of nature, granting humans unprecedented strength on the battlefield. Roland's fingers traced the intricate engravings on the heart, his mind racing with the possibilities it presented. He had always believed in pushing the boundaries of what was possible, driven by a desire to protect humanity and secure its place in the world. His invention had turned the tide of countless wars, ensuring that the human empire remained unchallenged. But beneath his confident exterior, doubts began to gnaw at him. Was this power a gift or a curse? The responsibility weighed heavily on his shoulders, though he tried to push these thoughts aside in favor of his work. Across the city, Grace moved through the bustling streets of the Dwarven Quarter, her sturdy frame accustomed to the demands of craftsmanship. As a skilled dwarf artisan, she had earned Roland's respect and friendship through their shared passion for innovation. Their collaboration had been instrumental in refining the heart of steel, combining human ingenuity with dwarven resilience. Today, however, Grace's thoughts were clouded with unease. She had witnessed the human empire's increasing oppression of other races, their relentless expansion fueled by the very power they had helped create. The tributes demanded from dwarven communities were growing harsher, and the once peaceful interactions were giving way to fear and resentment. In the opulent halls of the royal palace, Sara stood before a grand window, her gaze distant as she contemplated the state of the world. As a member of the human royal family, she had always supported Roland's endeavors, believing that technological advancements were the key to humanity's prosperity. Yet, beneath her composed exterior, Sara harbored a deep yearning for peace. The constant wars and the suffering they inflicted weighed heavily on her conscience. She often found solace in secret meetings with peace advocates, hoping to find a way to bridge the growing divides between humans and other races without resorting to further conflict. Meanwhile, in the lush, enchanted forests of the Elven territories, Talia led her troops with unwavering determination. Her sharp eyes scanned the horizon as she strategized their next move against the human empire. The elves had long cherished their harmony with nature, but the advent of the Heart of Steel had disrupted this balance. The elemental control exerted by humans threatened the very essence of elven life, pushing Talia to rally her people in a fight for autonomy and survival. Her leadership was marked by fierce resolve and a deep connection to the ancient magic that still thrived within their lands. The invention of the Heart of Steel had been a watershed moment for the human empire. Roland's relentless pursuit of innovation had culminated in a device that could harness and manipulate elemental forces, giving humans an edge that no other race could match. The first major battle where the heart had been deployed was a display of sheer power, decimating enemy forces and securing a decisive victory for humans. This triumph solidified Steel City's dominance, forcing other races to submit and pay tributes to maintain a fragile peace. As the empire expanded, the streets of Steel City thrummed with the energy of progress. Factories belched steam, workshops hummed with activity, and the presence of the Heart of Steel loomed large over every aspect of life. Yet, beneath the surface of prosperity, discontent simmered among the oppressed races. Grace, once a loyal artisan, began to see the darker side of Roland's creation. She witnessed firsthand the devastation it wrought on dwarven communities, the loss of lives, and the erosion of cultural identities. The weight of her conscience became unbearable, and she found herself torn between loyalty to her friend and the undeniable suffering caused by their shared invention. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over Steel City, Grace made her decision. She could no longer stand by and watch as the heart of steel continued to oppress and destroy. With a heavy heart, she approached Roland in his workshop, her expression resolute yet tinged with sorrow. "Roland," she began, her voice steady despite the turmoil within, "we need to talk." Roland looked up from his work, his brow furrowed in concern. "What's troubling you, Grace?" She took a deep breath, her eyes meeting his with a mixture of determination and sadness. "The heart of steel. It's more than just a weapon, it's a tool of oppression. The way it's being used against other races, the destruction it's causing, it's not what we intended." Roland's expression hardened, the weight of her words sinking in. "Grace, we've secured peace through strength. The Empire has thrived because of the heart. Without it, we'd be vulnerable." "But at what cost?" Grace countered, stepping closer. "We're forcing other races into submission, extinguishing their cultures and lives. This isn't peace, it's tyranny." The room fell silent, the only sound the distant hum of elemental energy coursing through the heart. Roland's gaze softened, a flicker of doubt crossing his features. "I never wanted it to come to this. I wanted to protect humanity, to ensure our survival." Grace placed a hand on his shoulder, her grip firm yet compassionate. "I understand your intentions, Roland. But we need to find another way. We can't continue down this path of destruction." Roland sighed, the conflict evident in his eyes. "I don't know if we can. The heart gives us unparalleled power. Without it, the Empire could crumble." Grace shook her head, her resolve unshaken. "We have to try. For the sake of everyone, not just humans." Their conversation marked the beginning of a rift that would soon widen, drawing in allies and adversaries alike. Grace's defection from the human side set the stage for a rebellion that would challenge the very foundations of the Empire. In the days that followed, Grace discreetly reached out to Talia, seeking an alliance with the Elven warriors. Their shared desire to overthrow human dominance forged a bond between them, uniting dwarves and elves in a common cause. Together, they began to organize the resistance, blending ancient magic with modern tactics to counter the technological might of the Heart of Steel. Meanwhile, Sarah found herself increasingly torn between her duty to her people and her innate longing for peace. She attended council meetings supporting Roland's initiatives, her mind a battleground of conflicting loyalties. The more she saw the human empire's ruthless enforcement of their dominance, the deeper her disillusionment grew. In secret, she met with peace advocates, sharing her fears and aspirations for a harmonious future. As the resistance took shape, Sarah made a pivotal decision. Witnessing the Empire's unrelenting brutality, she chose to support the rebellion, leveraging her position within the royal family to provide valuable insider information. Her involvement added a new dimension to the resistance, bridging gaps between different factions and strengthening their resolve. The resistance's strategy sessions were intense and collaborative, each leader bringing their unique strengths to the table. Grace's knowledge of the Heart of Steel was invaluable, allowing them to devise plans to disrupt its functionality. Talia's elven magic provided the mystical edge needed to counteract the device's elemental control. Sarah's insider information offered strategic advantages, pinpointing weaknesses within Steel City's defenses. As the resistance grew in strength and numbers, the inevitable clash between the oppressed and the oppressors loomed on the horizon. The day of reckoning approached, and the tension within Steel City was palpable. The once mighty empire now faced an uprising that threatened to dismantle its very foundation. The night before the planned assault on Steel City, Grace stood alone in her hidden workshop, the flickering light of candles casting shadows on the walls. She thought of Roland, her friend who had once shared her dreams of a better world. Now, they stood on opposite sides of a conflict neither had fully anticipated. Her resolve was unwavering, but the weight of the impending battle pressed heavily on her heart. "Grace," a voice called softly from the doorway. She turned to see Sarah standing there, her expression a mixture of concern and determination. "Are you ready?" Grace nodded, a steely glint in her eyes. "We've come too far to turn back now." Sarah approached, placing a reassuring hand on Grace's shoulder. "No matter what happens tomorrow, know that your sacrifice won't be in vain." They shared a moment of silent understanding, their shared goal binding them together despite the chaos that awaited. The dawn of the battle day broke with a crimson hue, casting an ominous light over Steel City. The resistance, a diverse assembly of dwarves, elves, and sympathetic humans, stood poised on the outskirts of the metropolis. Their hearts beat in unison, a symphony of hope and determination that contrasted sharply with the cold, mechanized might of the human forces. Talia addressed her troops, her voice ringing with authority. "Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every race that has suffered under the tyranny of the Heart of Steel. Our ancestors fought for their lands, and today, we will honor their legacy by standing against oppression. Let us show them that unity and courage can overcome even the mightiest of foes." The resistance launched their assault with precision, their combined skills and strategies overwhelming the initial defenses of Steel City. Elemental barriers erected by the Heart of Steel clashed against the ancient magic wielded by the elven sorcerers, creating a spectacle of light and power. Grace moved through the battlefield with purpose, her knowledge of the device guiding her every step as she led a team to disable key components of the heart. As the battle raged, the true extent of the Heart of Steel's power became apparent. Human soldiers, enhanced by elemental forces, struck with devastating efficiency, their movements a blur of controlled chaos. The resistance faced formidable opposition, but their unity and determination held strong against the onslaught. In the midst of the chaos, Grace found herself face to face with Roland. His once warm and encouraging demeanor had hardened, replaced by the steely resolve of a leader determined to protect his creation at any cost. "Grace," he called out, his voice strained with emotion. "Don't do this. Think about what we're building." "Building what, Roland?" "An empire founded on fear and oppression?" Grace interrupted, her voice unwavering. "This isn't the future we dreamed of." Roland's eyes flickered with a mix of sorrow and anger. "You don't understand. The Heart of Steel ensures our survival. Without it, we'd fall." Before Grace could respond, a group of human soldiers advanced, weapons raised. With a swift motion, Roland activated a surge of elemental energy, creating a barrier that forced Grace and her team to retreat. The confrontation was brief but charged with the weight of their shared history and diverging paths. As the battle continued to intensify, Grace realized that the Heart of Steel's core was the key to the Empire's dominance. If they could disable it, the tide of the war could turn decisively in their favor. Leading her team toward the central hub where the device was housed, Grace navigated the labyrinthine corridors of Steel City, her mind focused on the task at hand. Sarah, observing the chaos from her vantage point within the royal palace, felt a surge of determination. She knew that the success of the resistance hinged on their ability to reach and destroy the heart. Channeling her inner strength, she rallied the remaining forces, directing them with a newfound sense of purpose and urgency. As Grace and her team approached the heart's central chamber, alarms blared, and human reinforcements surged forward to defend their prized asset. The final push to reach the device was met with fierce resistance, the elemental forces clashing against the resistance's combined might. The chamber itself was a marvel of technology and magic, the Heart of Steel pulsating with raw energy at its center. With moments to spare, Grace and her team activated the devised mechanism to disrupt the heart's control. The device flickered, its elemental energy destabilizing under the combined assault. Just as victory seemed within reach, Roland appeared once more, desperation etched into his features. "Grace, please," he pleaded, reaching out to her. "Don't let it end like this." But Grace knew there was no turning back. "It's over, Roland. Your reign of terror ends now." In a final, selfless act, Grace triggered the device's overload, channeling the remaining energy into a catastrophic release. The heart of steel shattered, its destruction sending shockwaves through Steel City. The elemental forces that had once granted the human empire their invincibility dissipated, leaving chaos in their wake. As the heart crumbled, Grace felt a searing pain in her chest. She had sacrificed herself to ensure the mission's success, her lifeblood fueling the final blow that would bring down the oppressive regime. Collapsing onto the cold floor, she watched as the heart of steel's demise signaled the end of an era. Sarah, witnessing Grace's sacrifice, felt a surge of grief and gratitude. With the heart destroyed, the human forces lost their advantage, their empire teetering on the brink of collapse. The battle was won, but at a tremendous cost. The resistance stood victorious, but the path to rebuilding and reconciliation lay ahead. In the aftermath of the battle, Steel City was a city transformed. The once mighty empire now grappled with its loss of power, its towering structures showing signs of decay and neglect. The remnants of human authority struggled to maintain control, facing internal upheaval and the dismantling of oppressive systems that had long suppressed other races. Amidst the ruins, leaders from all races gathered to negotiate a path forward. Sarah emerged as a central figure, her experience and empathy bridging the gaps between the diverse factions. Talia, representing the elven perspective, worked alongside her to ensure that the lessons learned from the conflict would guide the new era of cooperation. The resistance camps, once hidden enclaves of defiance, became hubs of reconstruction and unity. Technologies and ancient magics were shared openly, fostering an environment where innovation served the greater good rather than domination. The scars of war slowly began to heal as communities worked together to rebuild their shattered lives. Sarah took on the mantle of leadership with grace and determination, advocating for multi-race collaboration and the ethical use of technology. Her vision for a harmonious society resonated with all, and under her guidance, councils were formed to oversee the equitable distribution of resources and the preservation of cultural identities. Talia continued to strengthen bonds between races, ensuring that the alliances forged in battle would endure. She spearheaded initiatives to protect the natural environments cherished by the elves, integrating them with the technological advancements embraced by humans and dwarves alike. Together, they created a balanced society where diversity was celebrated, and mutual respect was the foundation of all interactions. The Heart of Steel, now a relic of the past, was preserved as a historical artifact. Placed in a central museum, it served as a poignant reminder of the perils of unchecked power and the importance of striving for peace. Visitors from all races came to witness the once feared device, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this moment of unity. Grace's legacy lived on through the hearts and minds of those she had inspired. Her sacrifice became a symbol of courage in the fight for justice, inspiring future generations to uphold the values of empathy and cooperation. Stories of her bravery were told and retold, ensuring that her memory would never fade. As the new society flourished, the once divided races found strength in their unity. Festivals celebrating diverse cultures became commonplace, joint projects advanced scientific and magical knowledge, and the bonds forged in the fires of conflict solidified into lasting friendships. The world had been irrevocably changed by the events that transpired, but from the ashes of oppression, a brighter, more inclusive future emerged. Sarah stood before a crowd gathered in the newly established Unity Square, the place where leaders from all races convened to discuss and implement policies for the common good. The sun set behind her, casting a warm glow over the assembled populace. She looked out at the diverse faces before her, each one a testament to the resilience and hope that had carried them through the darkest of times. Today, we stand united, Sarah began, her voice clear and confident. We have faced immense challenges and made great sacrifices. But through our collective strength and unwavering resolve, We have built a foundation for a future where every race can thrive in harmony. Let us honor the memory of those who gave everything for this cause by continuing to work together, embracing our differences, and striving for a world defined not by power, but by peace and cooperation." Applause erupted from the crowd, a sound that resonated with genuine hope and determination. Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her, knowing that the path ahead, though fraught with challenges, was one they would walk together. Talia approached her, a smile of approval on her face. "You've done well, Sarah. The future looks bright because of leaders like you." Sarah nodded, appreciating the acknowledgement. "We all played our parts. Grace's sacrifice was the catalyst that brought us here." Talia placed a hand on her shoulder. "Her spirit lives on in every act of kindness and every step toward unity. She would be proud." As the evening progressed, the city began to come alive with celebrations of their newfound unity. Music filled the air, blending the traditional melodies of the elves with the robust rhythms of the dwarves and the innovative beats of human composers. People danced together, shared stories, and forged new connections. The barriers that once divided them now mere memories of a painful past. The rebuilding process continued with unwavering dedication. Infrastructure projects combined the best of technological advancements with sustainable practices, ensuring that progress did not come at the expense of the environment. Educational institutions promoted cross-cultural learning, fostering a generation that valued diversity and collaboration above all else. In the heart of the newly rebuilt Steel City, the museum housing the Heart of Steel stood as a beacon of remembrance and reflection. Visitors marveled at the intricate craftsmanship and the raw power once harnessed by the device. Informative displays detailed the history of its creation, its role in the wars, and the resistance that ultimately led to its downfall. The museum served not only as a place of learning but also as a solemn reminder of the importance of ethical innovation and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Sarah often visited the museum, her thoughts lingering on the journey that had brought her to this point. She walked through the exhibits, reflecting on the sacrifices made and the lessons learned. The legacy of the Heart of Steel had been transformed from one of oppression to one of enlightenment, guiding the new society toward a future built on mutual respect and shared goals. One evening, as Sarah stood before the display of the destroyed Heart of Steel, she felt a presence beside her. Grace's spirit, though no longer bound to the physical world, seemed to linger in the air, a comforting presence that filled her with warmth and resolve. "You did it, Sarah," Grace's voice echoed softly in her mind. "You brought us the peace we all deserve." Sarah smiled, feeling a sense of closure and gratitude. "We did it together, Grace." "Your sacrifice made all the difference." As she gazed at the relic, Sarah made a silent promise to honor Grace's memory by continuing to lead with compassion and integrity. The Heart of Steel, once a symbol of human dominance, had been redefined as a monument to the power of unity and the enduring quest for peace. The years that followed were marked by unprecedented prosperity and harmony. The collaborative efforts of all races led to breakthroughs in science, magic, and culture, each advancement benefiting the collective society. The lessons of the past were never forgotten, ensuring that the mistakes that had led to the rise of the Heart of Steel would never be repeated. Sarah's leadership continued to inspire, her commitment to ethical governance and equitable progress serving as a model for future generations. She worked tirelessly to maintain the delicate balance of power, always mindful of the sacrifices that had paved the way for their current peace. Talia, too, played a crucial role in shaping the new world. Her dedication to preserving the natural beauty of the Elven territories while embracing technological advancements ensured that progress did not come at the expense of the environment. Under her guidance, the elves became leaders in sustainable practices, their ancient wisdom harmonizing with modern innovations. Grace's legacy permeated every aspect of society. Her story taught in schools and celebrated in festivals. Her bravery and unwavering commitment to justice became a cornerstone of the new era, reminding everyone of the importance of standing up against oppression and fighting for what is right. As the sun set over Steel City once more, the skyline now a blend of towering spires and lush greenery, Sarah stood on a balcony overlooking the city she had helped to rebuild. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter, music, and the vibrant energy of a society reborn. She took a deep breath, savoring the moment of peace and unity that had once seemed so elusive. "Here's to a future built on strength and compassion," she whispered, a smile playing on her lips. And with that, the world moved forward, guided by the lessons of the past and the unwavering hope for a harmonious future. The heart of steel, once a weapon of domination, had become a beacon of unity, a testament to the enduring power of cooperation and the unbreakable spirit of those who dared to dream of a better world.